Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? Hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day and may peace be upon you. Thank you for watching. Yes, I can with your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. And today I have the inspirational, the gorgeous Jessica Glasper, who is a number one international best-selling
Jerica.
author. Jerica Glasper. And a number one international best-selling author and publicity coach. So Jerica is a publicity consultant or a coach, and her gift is helping conscious businesswomen and a few great businessmen too to take their solo business and align publicity opportunities to take them to the next level. And her passion and her mission is to help more transformational coaches, consultants, healers, therapists to stand in their leadership heels with authenticity, authority, and confidence, and be truly unapologetic about their mission, their voice, so that they can have their unique messages in various prestigious platforms so that they can start making a change and an impact to the world. And Jerica, she has run multiple media courses, money mindset, workshops, marketing, and PR campaigns for her private clients. So, darling, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dihar, for having me on your show. I'm super excited to be here and talking about global female leadership.
Absolutely. And today we're especially going to be jamming about self-expression and being, the best version, the authentic version of you, because often we think that we have to create a persona, right? A persona of how we think that people want us to be. But reality is people just want you because that's the best thing about it. And Jerica and I, we're going to be jamming about it today. So, Jerica, I know that you shared earlier with me before that you're from corporate America. And
I
now
am.
that you've made them, and Jerica, what's so unique about her is that while she's in corporate America, what she did was also she built her business, her entrepreneurship skills, and honing it in part time as she's working a 9 to 5, and she also has a son, an 11-year-old son. So tell us, on top of being a mom, on top of having a 9 to 5 corporate job and building a business, what made you have the audacity to even do that part? Because it's a whole new animal together on top of juggling so many balls.
Yes. What made me have the audacity to build a business while working in corporate America, while being a partner, while being a mom, really was that the mission that was placed in my heart was bigger than the position where I was in my corporate job. And I'm thankful for the skills that I learned from working with the Fortune 500 company as a sales executive. I worked with hundreds of small business owners. I got to see firsthand how their marketing departments ran, how their operations, how their sales, how their support teams. And it's all contributed over the last 5 years to me really wanting to build my own journey, having my own legacy to pass on. So yeah, what gave me the audacity? Just knowing that I wanted more and that there was more for me to give to the world.
Absolutely. And that thing that you want to know, your mission, Jerica calls it her mission. I call it my dream. It has to be that she said it beautifully. It has to be bigger than who you are. Because if it's small enough, you ain't going to fight for it.
No,
Because
you
it's just like, yeah, one of the things. But when it's bigger than what you felt, yes, it's scary, it's hard work, it takes everything, that every little moment of spare time that you have, even when you're in the shower you're thinking about it, right? Constantly.
won't.
Constantly
These second
thinking.
moments.
And what was the moment that you knew that that was the mission that you wanted? Like, did it come to you as in passing moments, or did you have, like, come hear me, a dream, like, just like, all the prophets have it, boom, a dream kind of thing? Or was it like conversations with people, or how did you realize to that part of your dream?
Yes, that is a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So I'll keep it really brief, but about a decade ago, I was in a lot of victimhood. I was in a lot of blaming other people for my problems and where I was in life. I was coming out of a really bad relationship and went
Mhm.
into a shelter for women. And then I eventually went into transitional housing. My son was maybe 1 year old at the time. And I found myself in a transitional housing apartment with a lot of hand-me-down couches and beds and toys, and shopping at the thrift store for clothes, and dishes were passed down. It was all hand me down, and that just wasn't what I was used to having. But I
Mm.
was starting from the bottom and building back up, and I just found myself asking God, why me, why now, why am I going through this? And the thing that was given to me was gratitude. Like, Jerica, have gratitude. So I remember I was walking around the apartment and I'm angry, and I was like, oh, I'm thankful for that bed. I'm thankful for that couch. I'm thankful for those toys. Okay. Well, I'm thankful for the roof over my head. I'm thankful for peace. And it just became, it went from anger into just full on gratefulness and gratitude, because, I would say life can be a lot worse than where it is now. And just being in the present moment and being thankful for the breath, being thankful for the breath that I had and the safety and the peace. And I remember, like, I went from anger to like crying, like, oh, I'm just so thankful for my life, and crying. And as I'm crying, this vision was divinely downloaded to me. And in the vision, I was talking to one of my friends, and she was kneeled down, and I was kind of standing over her, and she's like curled up and just kind of sad. And I spoke something to her, and this fruit dropped on her. Or no, I was speaking to her. And so when I was talking to her, she stands up, and this tree sprouts from her head, like this holographic tree. And she walks over to another woman, and this fruit falls from her head to the other woman, who was also kind of like down. And so when that woman had this fruit fall on her, then a tree grew from her head, and she walked to another woman that was kind of down, and then she stood, and then the tree grew from her head and the fruit. And so I'm watching this happen, and it's like women are showing up from everywhere, and it's like women are feeding into each other, they're pouring into each other, and this fruit is falling on the next woman, and then she grows this beautiful tree with this beautiful red orange fruit, like, and it was beautiful. So I'm standing there, and it just, before my eyes, it turns into a beautiful forest. Like, the women are kind of have passed away, but it's just a forest and hills of trees. And so I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, I had this beautiful vision about my friends. I have to tell her that she has this mission in the world, that I saw her like rise up and speak to other women. Dad, like, hello? Dad, you hear me? And he's like, Jerica, he said, you were the fruit that first fell on your friend. And I was like, oh, you're right. So my vision has always been sowing seeds into other people's lives, because I know the ripple effect that it would be when you spread light. And that has been my mission for 10 years, is to spread light and to inspire others to plant seeds in other people's lives. And just, fruit and trees represent prosperity and abundance. So that's always been my message for the last 10 years: prosperity, abundance, sharing your story, spreading light.
That is absolutely, what a beautiful, beautiful story. And, it's just amazing, isn't it? By just planting a seed could do, because
Yes.
then, there's so much you can do, and the rest is up to the divine, right? Divine and the God. But there's something that you can do, anybody can do, to take, to plant the seeds. And in whatever shape or form, in whatever circumstances that has been blessed to you, like mine always going to be about, I believe that I'm here to touch people's hearts in whatever shape or form. And I really love what you said about gratitude, Jerica, because what we don't realize is that it takes 100 different steps, 1,000 different steps, just to have that one thing. The roof over our head, to be here today, to have food. Like a 100 and 1,000 different things just to have that one thing, like for the things that we've done in the past or what have you not. And one of the things that you mentioned earlier, that was, and then you cried, right? Because you're like, oh, you're so angry. And then, oh, I've got the couch, I've got the roof. When all these things are going on, my
Yes.
son and I are safe from the weather and, you know, everything else, right? So how did you, was gratitude one of the things that kind of like helped you to have your turning point
Yes. Yes.
to move
Gratitude
to the
was,
next step?
yes, it was a turning point in the sense that I became more self-aware, and
Mm.
self-awareness is huge. To be able to put a mirror on your own self and say, you know what am I contributing to
Mhm.
my life? What role am I playing? And to stop being reactive to life and being more proactive. And I used to go through life being reactive. Things would happen to me, and oh, that's the government. Oh, that's the employer. Oh, that's the man. Oh, that's the child. Oh, that's the, and I just never had ownership. And that was a turning point for me to say, you know what, I probably need to look a little bit closer at myself and see what thoughts and beliefs and what led me to where I am in this moment in my life. So that was a catalyst for me really getting into positive thinking, affirmations, manifesting, spiritual awakening, and just operating in a place where I knew that my consciousness, my beliefs, my actions, all those things contributed to the experiences that I had in my life.
Beautiful. And do you believe that as a female leader that operates on a global platform, do you believe that a part of you, your consciousness, your awareness, is somewhat an integral part of you versus just your business strategy? Look, you want to make money, 1, 2, 3. Do you believe that that's integral part of you? Because I know some female leaders choose to separate them because they don't want to be think as woo woo. Do you know what I mean? Oh, she's a woo woo now. She's talking. She's doing all that. But I believe like I would like, even if I'm being called a woo-woo and be healthy and wealthy and happy, I would rather be called that and stuck up and broke. Do you know what I mean? So do you believe that that part as a consciousness, whether you want to call it spirituality, awakening, whatever it is, to believe that is a part of an integral part as a female leader?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that the spirituality piece, that you cannot separate that from trying to run a business. I
Mhm.
say that I am totally woo woo. I say that I mix the woo, the woo with the do. So I'll give you the spirituality and I'll give you the strategy as well. I know, like before your calls with clients and any interview that you do, that we do grounding, we take deep breaths, and that's totally a part of like regulating your nervous system and getting into the right, mindset. So I'm all about that. And I resonate with others that resonate with both. People can operate how they choose, but I've found for me that working in the spirituality piece and the mindset and all that, along with business strategy, is integral. Like you cannot, for me, I can't separate the two.
Yes, and that's also a part of yourself, a part of your self-expression, right? Like, the spirituality or a particular, what do you call it, particular routine or grounding techniques or whatever it is that you do, breathing, whatever it is you do. Do you feel that that's kind of like there's a new wave of self-expression as we go along, especially with female leaders? Because I believe that nothing can happen apart from what divine has planned, right? No matter how I work for it, all the divine has to say is be, and so it is, right? That's all that needs to be done. So do you believe that self-expression in going forward as a female leader, whether it's spiritualities or belief or principles or values of families, how can we hone into that, Jerica, and not be apologetic about it?
Mm, that's a great question. So I'll tell a quick story. When I was growing up, my mom instilled in us the importance of education. And we would be the kids that when we got done with school, we might have to read a book after school, or we would And we enjoyed it. So we'd read. I loved reading books. My mom would like give us, write your name. Okay, you wrote your name today at school, but write your name again. So all the way from when I can remember, I was always doing more to build up myself. And I remember in second grade, I got into the gifted and talented program because I was a kid in class that was like, oh, me, I know the answer. And they're like, okay, Jerica, you're gonna give somebody else a chance. So I always wanted to express. I always just felt like, yes, I can do this. And I feel like over the years, as I got older, going through school and being told like, oh, you're doing too much or you're being too extra, that as I got older into my early 20s, I actually let that dim my light a little bit. And so after I went through some coaching, some life coaching, some spiritual coaching, and really got into the self-awareness piece, my mantra has been that I accept my light. I accept my light, and just to own your greatness. And it's okay to cheerlead yourself. You're not being extra. You're being who God called you to be, who you were created to be. And one of the things that I have that I've always said over the years is, why blend in when you were born to stand out? So I wasn't born to blend in. We were all born to stand out in our own unique way. And so again, my mantra going forward is always, I accept my light. However bright that light is, I'm not dimming it.
Absolutely. And like the things that we've been shushed and hushed and told to hide, the thing that makes us embarrassed about our part self. Or, I remember when I was in school, I was being called bossy and demanding. But when it comes to project, whose group did they want to be? Mine, because like because I get the results, and all those things that people have put themselves down, or we even put ourselves down because of that, because we think that is that thing. But actually, that's the best thing about us, right?
Yeah.
That's the best thing about us, and that what made people choose us over someone else. That's what people want to pay us more or pay us X amount of money because of that. And I call it leadership qualities. Like all those different people have different leadership qualities. And I just want to kind of tie everything in together with self-expression, with gratitude, with your dream, kind of like going forward with your dream. How do you stay loyal to your dream? Because your dream is just, your light, your vision, everything that you want. And your dream changes as you go along, as you, things happen, your dream changes. How do you stay loyal to it? Because the only way your dream isn't going to happen if you quit on it. If you quit on it, I'm enough, like, I don't want to do it, then obviously your dream is not going to happen if you quit on it. So how do you stay loyal to your dream? How do you fight for your dream with everything that you've got? Because I'm thinking about championships like football. Look, I've never watched football in my life ever. Okay, it's a new animal to me. But I've heard of Tom Brady. I know him because of Jimmy Bunchen. But in football, there's this guy called Jerry Hall. I think it's I don't know. I forgot his last name, but his name is Jerry. He's a quarterback, and even though he's a quarterback, he comes in 2 hours early or earlier than anyone else. And he stays in later than anyone, and is one of the best at his time. And that makes him the best. So how do you stay loyal to your dream, Jerica?
Loyal to your dream. That's a great question. How do I stay loyal to my dream? What's downloading for me right now as an answer is when there is friction in the path that you're on. And I want to say this carefully, because I'm not saying there's not going to be things that come up in business, but when there's true stress and there's true resentment towards something that you're doing, it's a chance to say, am I really doing what my mission is? Am I really doing and it's different, because when you love what you do, it's excitement. It's like, oh, this adrenaline is excitement. I love doing this. I got a deadline. I got a client. I got to do this and that. And it's excitement. But when it's dread, like when you're on your job and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to come into work. I don't want to be here. I'm supposed to be like, you know, the difference between that dread and that excitement. And so I always say, follow your fascination, follow your excitement. And that keeps me fluid, I would say, in being able to get downloads on what's next. Like we talked about me being into manifestation and mindset, which I formerly was a manifestation and mindset coach, and I still incorporate that with clients. But the following my fascination was really focusing on helping to spread light, and doing that by working with women to help them elevate their platform to get more publicity. So follow your fascination, you know, listen to your guidance, your internal guidance system, and to see, am I really in alignment in this area? And then also just make your mission bigger than you. Make your mission bigger than your ego. And, you know, if you're impacting other people in a positive way, let that be your driving force. Like this interview, and you having your platform and putting so many leaders on your platform and helping to spread light. That's beautiful. You know?
Thank you. And that's beautiful. And one thing I would say is that have the best team to fight with you and for you. Because, you know, we can't do this on our own. Like Jerica and I, we do collaborations with each other. And there's certain things that I'm amazing at, but there's certain things aren't. And Jerica's there to support me to fight for my dreams, to have that vision, and vice versa. So because often female leaders feel lonely because they feel that they have to do it on their own, because they feel that they don't want to burden people or anything. But all you have to do is just ask for help, and the right people would say yes to you without a doubt. That's what I feel. So darling, let's end with this then. Let's end with, what's one key action that anybody can take today to become, you know, the best self-expression person that they can be, whether it's in social media, with clients? What's one key action that they can take?
Yes, great question. So one key action that you can take is to use your voice as your superpower. Use your voice as your superpower and share it, because your story and your lessons are not meant for you to hoard them. They're meant for you to share them. And so use social media to get started. If you are a consumer, you consume content all the time versus being a creator, then I invite you to start becoming a creator of content. And that will position you as a leader when you create content. Use social media, make a post, right? Put a cute picture of you. Maybe you have some photo shoot pictures you haven't posted in a while, or just candid shots of your life with your kids, or, you know, working on a client project, but share what you're going through. People want to have that connection, and connection is a new form of business currency. Connection, authenticity, relationships, right? People want to know you as a person. So that would be my advice, to use your voice and share on social media, whether that's a post, make a video, Facebook Live, whatever you're comfortable with, and a little bit uncomfortable with. So get on video, because video is the best form to connect with people outside of voice. I know voice and video are really powerful right now, especially like with Clubhouse. So use your voice.
Thank you so much, Jerica. And one final question. What's one fun thing that people don't know about you? And you can't say reading, because you already said you love reading. So what's fun thing that people don't know about you? Like, are you a rodeo queen like we don't know about?
I love painting. My dad was a professional painter and a professional artist. So he painted murals in casinos, like in multi-million-dollar homes. You'd walk in and there's just murals everywhere. And so I love painting, and I have my own artwork up in the house right now that I've painted. So that's something people may not know about me. I love artistry and creativity.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. It was such an honor. It was such a pleasure and blessing to have you in the show, Jerica. So thank you so much for watching and for listening. This is your host, Dr. Istihar Jamil. Until the next episode, tell yourself, yes, I can. And so it is done. So say bye, Jerica. Bye.
Thank you, guys.